Alright, welcome back to the Oceania 7K World Cup 2024 round of 24. We're here to bring you this match between the Russian Federation and Denmark. I'm Surf285 and alongside with me in the commentary booth, I've I've been looking forward to commentating with you, Ray Vile. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm back finally for another Mania World Cup for the 7K one. It's my first one for this edition and hopefully not my last. Good to finally commentate with you after a while as well, Surf Chu. This is gonna be interesting. Russian Federation against Denmark, like you mentioned. These two teams, very interesting qualifier scores. Russia Federation, especially with a very good mixed rice, getting 7th place on that. But for Denmark, they can definitely try to look into the LM. They aren't too far behind on those. Maybe we'll be seeing some LM picks from them.
Indeed. Something to take note of with both of these teams. Like Russia is carrying like some of the higher, like let's say higher three-digit rank players, like among the teams that are in here. I mean, they also have a two-digit player in Meiju, who is their team captain. Denmark, on the other hand, is coming in with pretty experienced players in the 7K scene. Like you have Fritte and Joel. Like Joel, those who are more familiar with the 4K scene might be familiar with that name. And also Melon and Stoom are very decent players as well. As you mentioned, LNs are going to be pretty close, I'd say. I do agree with that. Though I kind of find it funny now that Russia is deciding to ban Rice Chart.
Yeah, and likewise with Denmark also banning an LN shot. But it is Is LN1 the coordination? I don't. It is? Is it?
Yeah, it is. It is. It is Avril MWC 7K 2024 edit. Well, I guess what? Luminaria is a bit I guess it's like the most abrasive of all the Rice charts. That is not the tech one, well, which is not the Rice 4 one. And Team 37, I think, as far as I know, we've only seen it once throughout the entire weekend, as it's like with all of the 4 matches that have already happened. I think it has only been picked once, and that was a fun one to watch.
We'll also quickly go through the protects as well. Russian Federation protecting Vice 5, Denmark protecting Vice 2. So 2 Vice maps being protected. And we're already going to see, I believe one of them already out, which is Unknown Amnesia. This is Russia's protect, so just immediately going for it to start.
Russia is going for that well-known, like that tried and tested strategy of just start with the thing that you're most confident with. Usually, we'll see like the more out there strategies, like keeping the protects like until way later in the matches, once we see the pools starting to get harder. Again, it's early game. Like this is where you kind of just want to test the waters, try to get the nerves out of the way, and not to mention like even the seedings. Kind of, let's say like there's a fair difference between these two teams in terms of seeding. So it's most likely Russia is banking on that advantage early on, try to get the free point, and see what happens from there.
Yeah, it's time to get those fingers warmed up. For this map, it's going to be more of a stamina type of chart, is it?
It is once we get to like the later part of the chart. The beginning is a bit more, I'd say, technical. Like you have some speed sections right there, and then at the second half, the patterns do start to lighten up a bit. Like it turns into a more straightforward chord stream. But by that point, like if you're not prepared for that section, the first part would have already drained you, because like the first half isn't exactly the easiest to act.
If that's the case, Denmark might actually struggle on this quite a bit because Russia do have some very good accuracy scores from the qualifiers, and Denmark were around the bottom half. But this is a brand new map pool, so we'll have to see what these players can show.
Malone unfortunately finding 2 consecutive misses to open up this match, which is not a good sign for them to start. Both Russian players are carrying no fail. They are allowed to do that because on score V2 there is no score reduction like on V1 if I'm not mistaken. Anyways, both basically everyone except for Melon still making their full combos as we enter these more wub-ish sections. Melon is starting to recover just a bit. Meiju finding the first drop on the Russian side.
Yeah, it's not going to be too impactful because it is still a very good accuracy score for Meiju, 99.4 and climbing, still matching the best accuracy of Denmark as well. And K-Race is just reeling with it right now.
Now we're getting into more of a mix, like the full mix of this chart as we transition to the break section, where you would hope that you don't drop any notes here because that would be very unfortunate. This section here is very, very hard to act. If you're not careful, it's super easy to rush these sweeps, and we're starting to see some of those alternating ladders as well. Everyone getting passed through that unscathed. Yeah, and now
Denmark
we're into this
is doing really well.
section. And this coursing section is kind of expected that all of these players should be able to get past this just fine. So if you're Denmark, you kind of have to hope for a meltdown somewhere from the Russian team.
I mean, Denmark are doing really well to hold their own, but yeah, the Russian Federation, apart from like one major slip up from Meiju, just running away with it.
And Race with that very, very good act. Now we're back into these more sweeping stair sections. Everyone getting through it just fine. And just maybe, we might see something happen. But given the form all of these players have shown throughout the past few moments, I don't think anything will.
Yeah, just one final miss for Melon. And the Russian Federation will get the first point on the board. Very solid accuracy on Karace. 988k. And Frit also doing really well in FC. Meiju not too far behind, just that one miss setting the difference between them and Frit. But it is a good start from the Russian Federation. Yeah.
Only 7,200 from Karace here. Very, very impressive. Now it's time for Denmark to get their first pick in. Well, if they're going for the direction of the long notes, LN1 is really the out there kind of LN chart in the LN pool we see right now. Pronoxia plays a bit more like a Rice chart. Well, it's a lens obviously, but LN density in the early game is basically a chord stream chart if you try hard enough. Crush alcohol as well. Well, there's some level of LN control needed in crush alcohol, especially the latter half or the latter third of the chart where you need the coordination skill to be able to keep up with the density. And obviously there's also the hybrids which have a fair share of long notes, though I guess if they kind of want to avoid having in accuracy battle, they might want to avoid the hybrid 2 as well. The rest of the Rice pool on the other... Wait,
you're saying they want to avoid, but they are going for it to start. Pure silver from Denmark.
Ooh, that's interesting. Well, I could think of a theory why they want pure silver. They might be banking on maybe some early misses from Russia as well? I mean, if this isn't exactly the most straightforward chart, you have a lot of flams, like a lot of emphasis on grace notes as well, some staccato LN usage.
Yeah, so maybe Denmark is trying to trip the Russian players. But they also have to be careful. Let's see if there'll be any players stopped. It doesn't look like there will be any. I think right now Denmark just really has to go for maps which will cause Russia to mess up more than pick a map that they feel more comfortable in. Because if we just compare to like qualifier scores, Russia just beats Denmark in everything, so they really have to try and go for the throat here.
We're seeing X Devil making their MWC 7K 2024 debut in this pick. As it appears, no substitutions from the Danish side.
Ooh.
And here we go with the second chart of this match. Again, this chart is very notorious with its grace notes and flam usage. Very, very hard to maintain your accuracy on despite the light patterning overall.
Let's see if any of these first grace note patterns trip up anybody. I do see a 200 from X-Devil and a miss from Meiju.
Meiju,
was holding like a 99.9 at the start, so that's gonna give Denmark the advantage first, but as we can already see, accuracy is dropping like flies. Melon just teetering above the 99. And this lead is not a lot. Denmark really have to be very careful. Russian Federation are already hot on the heels. Meiju already recovering back up to 99.5 in the lead, shrinking as it's already in Russian Federation's favor because of Melon's accuracy.
Melon's accuracy dropping to 98.8. Meiju's recovery to 99.6 is actually very impressive with that, even with the very early miss. I mean, especially with how Mania scoring works, early misses usually are fine. Like let's say first 2-3 seconds of the chart, like you could still afford to miss there and full combo the rest. As long as you're able to keep up that accuracy, you are most likely fine. That's why we're seeing Russia with the advantage going into the second half of this chart, while both Danish players are maintaining their full combos. Melon's accuracy is kind. Ooh, that's interesting. X-Double finding a drop, giving the advantage to the Danish side. Beautiful combos.
So no FCs to 2. Denmark have a very good lead now compared to previously. But we still got quite a while to go.
There is a lot of chart remaining, but as far as I've seen, this is actually the biggest advantage we've seen throughout this entire chart. But it's extremely close. Russia is well within striking distance. If any of these two Danish players find any inconsistency, any act drops are going to be absolutely fatal. But Denmark is trying to maintain that lead.
Yeah, Denmark have to hold here. A lot of these chord patterns and these grace notes, if you trip out on them just once, I think that's gonna sling the lead back to Russian Federation. Is it going to sling even without any misses though? Because accuracies are dropping for Denmark and accuracies on Russian Federation are climbing. Will it be a last second
close
swap?
Russia?
No, it won't. Denmark will hold on barely. And it's 1-1. Wow, that accuracy from Meiju, 4-200.
Meiju only finding an LN break at the beginning of the chart. That wasn't a miss. That would have been a very impressive score. X-Devil also with 2 LN breaks. Also with the 2 LN breaks. Denmark doing just enough with their accuracies to get that very, very slim margin to grab their first point on the board.
Yeah, just barely despite the accuracy deficit. And that also means no sweep from the Russian Federation if they are going for it. But the pick will go back to them. And surely it should be another rice.
If we're accuracy-wise, they could be looking at raindrop or flash dance. Usually, you'd be fine with you'll be fine with getting the chord stream or the chord jack pick out of the way, especially for sharp shooting for accuracies. I'd say maybe the pool is slightly a bit more open for Denmark at the moment, but really depends on how Russia will be responding.
It did feel like Denmark were doing as I said. Like, they're just trying to pick the map that would trip up Russian Federation and just hope that they can do well on it. And like you also said, Rise 3, a possibility now come true for them, for the Russian Federation.
Now, the only thing both Russian Federation has to be super careful is that this chord jack chart is not that reliant on anchor usage. The jacks here are pretty spread out. Like, there are some finger shifting that's happening, and those are pretty tricky to maintain combo on if you do not know what you're doing, like me. Anyways,
we are going to see a swap.
Team Ibuka going in for Meiju here, and if I remember correctly, Team Ibuka actually has very impressive chord jack accuracy as what we've seen from their performance during the 2023 World Cup. So I think this is actually a good decision to carry both of these two players into this chart. And we are going to be seeing Stoom come in for Denmark as well, making their World Cup debut for this edition at least.
Now let's see if this pick will pay off.
But again, like, there is some sort of a risk with accuracy heavy charts, especially in 7K where misses can easily happen somewhere.
I mean, the good thing I feel is that we've already seen Denmark, at least compared to the Russian Federation, are struggling on accuracy. So if we're just gonna base it off that on paper, it does seem like Russian Federation do have that slight advantage, but anything can really happen when we're in a map.
Ibuka actually finding a slightly rough start into this start and actually getting a miss on that chord drill. That is not good.
It is the start, so it's not gonna be too punishing, but this is
a 2-minute start though. This is a 2-minute start, very short recovery time. Melon trading one of those misses, but this is still, I mean, no, the lead is decreasing. Like, if X double at least maintains that accuracy or increases that, Team Ibuka also starting to recover very well, and we're seeing the lead go to the Russian side. Stoom on the other hand, keeping up with X double accuracy wise.
Yeah, they're basically cancelling out each other. Oh, but X double misses, and Team Ibuka as well. What just happened there?
Russia finding a breakdown in that break section as well. Not exactly the place you'd want to miss. Ibuka finding yet another drop in the quarterfinal section, and Denmark well on their way to getting their second point in this match and the first break point as well.
This is
they just need to carry on.
23,000 and climbing to the lowest seeded team.
This is a very prime position here for Denmark to take advantage now. Stoom with that accuracy, 99.8. Melon keeping up as well.
Yeah, Stoom is absolutely ripping this map apart. And all expectations thrown out of the window. This map has not paid off for Russian Federation. We get our first breakpoint. Oh my gosh. I don't even know what to say about these accuracies.
Stoom only won 100. Almost a V1SS. Melon with a very impressive ratio as well. X double having pretty similar accuracy to Stoom as well. Well, folks, I think we have a match here. And honestly, I don't know how both of these teams will be positioning themselves in the remaining charts in this pool. I guess Raindrop might be like the last super straightforward thing they could pick. LNs are a bit too risky, especially with what happened in Pure Silver, but I guess if they go without round, Chronoxia is the best bet.
Which one of the remaining maps are like the most choke heavy? Because I think that is what Denmark wants to go for.
Okay, I'd say, of course, Rice 4, Banka or the font is kind of failing me. Rice 4, the tech pick, I don't easy to choke, as with almost any technical pick you throw in. Crush Alcohol, the latter, like the final third of the chart is very, it's a significant difficulty increase from the earlier part of the chart, so that's kind of risky. And I'd say Freshness Vacation as well. It's that one chart where you think it's super easy, but then you're thrown patterns that are, let's just say, like reverting stairs, like snakes and all that stuff. Your reading is going to be tested in that chart. I don't think there's an easy way out for both of these two.
Yeah. Denmark are taking their time. But yeah, they're already getting the rush on to pick. And fast.
We're just waiting for the pick now. But like, I don't think this is the time for the teams to gamble on the riskier picks. Like, also Cosmo Escape is actually pretty straightforward. Might be an option as well if they're staying with the hybrid.
Okay, they are going for connects here. Alright.
Wait, is it O or is it E?
I always thought it was an O.
Yeah,
I always thought it was an O.
Yeah.
Noxia.
Anyways, we'll just call it LN2 to avoid any confusion.
Yeah.
Confusion. LN density pick. Early game LN densities usually play like a chord stream chart if you try hard enough. Shoutouts to Liju as well for making this chart. Anyways, here we go.
Yeah. I did say at the start of the match that Denmark would like to experiment or at least pick some of the LN maps. So this will be the first time that they will do so, and let's see if it will pay off for them.
There are some parts in this chart that definitely do get quite dense. I mean, it's kind of, which is what you'd expect really. But what I mean is the abrasiveness of the patterns might be something that both of these teams have to be super careful. X-Devil's accuracy actually pretty shaky.
Yeah, it is a good start for Denmark. Accuracy-wise, X-Devil is the one lagging behind. But it is a good start. Meiju though.
But as it sounds like, Meiju is averaging things out, so it makes both of these teams actually pretty even. Melon with that 99.1, Fritte with the 99.3. Like, everything is just even out. Like, this is extremely close between these two teams. Denmark just barely having some advantage. Russia actually managing to pull it ahead to their side because of Melons finding a break somewhere.
Yeah. It does seem like Denmark are struggling for accuracy, even though X-Devil is below 99. Meiju just being the hard carry for Russian Federation at the moment.
Something about charts like this. Ooh, X-Devil. No,
on the rest portion.
Very bad. That's a bad place to break combo. Melon.
Melon trades it back.
Trading that. A trade on the Ellen Court Trail, so we're back to square one here. Russian Federation is starting to pull ahead. Like the thing is about charts like these, like especially in a match where there is some advantage disadvantage position. Like if you're in the advantage, you might be able to afford comboing instead of acting. As we find yet another drop here from Melon. Britain just staying above 99% act in the end, as Russian Federation finding the second consecutive breakpoint in this match. Ooh, Meiju, what is that score? That is really
Yeah.
good.
I think when Meiju plays, Russian Federation, they do have a very reliable play on their hands. And once again, another map that doesn't go in the favor of the picker, this time Denmark, and we're back 2-2, and also back to Russian Federation's pick. Now this time, they probably want to think this one through.
The last raindrop might be the only thing I could think about right now. Like if they want to stay in the straightforward route. But we're kind of getting into that part of the match where there is no safe pick anymore.
I mean, for the Russian Federation, you would say that there are more safe picks for them than Denmark?
Yeah. Yeah, but the previous two charts kind of show that, I can keep up with you.
Yeah. Nothing's certain.
Like, if any of these two teams blink, like that advantage should be thrown out of the window. And they're going for Crush Alcohol. Russian Federation. Actually, this is a good pick. This is a good pick now that I think about it.
It is understandable. Yeah, you win by like what 20,000 points on an LN map. You go for another LN map. Why not? Give it a shot.
Why not? Why not? Yeah.
Get it? Give it a shot because alcohol.
I was thinking,
I'm so funny. I'm sorry. And you're saying please ignore me.
I was gonna say something about, like, of course, the Russian Federation picks Crush Alcohol. Like, I was about to say that, but anyways, I was about to say that RC2 might be a good option if they're going for the Chord Stream route, and then I forgot that LN3 was still open. But they picked it. Yeah, that's a really good pick, actually. Well, anyways, here we go. The first half of this chart is fairly easy. Like, there is just one certain pattern, running man LN, like an anchor trail of some sorts. That both of these teams have to be super careful, and obviously the second half of the chart as well is fairly difficult. Both of these teams actually pretty even at the start. Meiju, the accuracy bastion here for the Russian Federation, making the difference.
Yeah, but here comes the control aspect of the map in X-Devil. First one to drop combo. Gives the lead to Denmark.
Here we go with the more technical LN patterning here. Here's the running man LNs in both teams getting through that unscathed. Now here with the break section where I don't think that you want to take a break as well with just to relax, because these patterns are extremely hard to act.
Meiju's doing really well to at least try and bridge the gap back. X-Devil has to try and build up some accuracy back up. But as I say that they do drop some accuracy. Denmark are still hovering around that 99.3 range, but they are dropping a little bit. Russian Federation might steal this lead back.
Well, we'll see what happens now as we enter the final third of this chart, where I have been saying the patterning starts to become a bit more technical, a bit more difficult. And this is extremely close as any of these teams.
This is really close.
They're going,
it does seem like
you have to see their chance of winning this point. Yep.
It does seem like Denmark's overall accuracy are just steadily dropping. And that's the miss from Melon. That could be it. That could be the nail. It really depends on. Oh my gosh, Meiju!
Yo, Meiju! Ooh, is that gonna be enough though?
It was a very clean miss. Denmark, because Meiju's accuracy is still 99.5.
Denmark is slowly pulling it.
They are slowly pulling it, but is there enough time? Especially if the accuracies from Denmark still drop. Meiju is still holding on to 99.5. The savior of the Russian Federation team at the moment. Keeping them together.
Russia is slowly pulling ahead, but any one more drop and that's going to be over.
That's
That's
it.
the last LN. That's it.
What a
Russia
roller
Federation
coaster of
picks
a
up their
map.
third point.
Wow. I mean, we've already said a lot of things about Meiju, but once again, that accuracy is just unmatchable in this lobby.
A theory I think is that as long as someone is, I say like as long as if Meiju is in, like don't think about it, like just be able to get a higher accuracy overall to their second player, and most likely they might be able to keep up. And now here we go with Raindrop as we see Joel coming in for the Danish. And honestly, I think this is a good decision to bring in Joel in. Like that, they are very, very good in Rice in general, like chord streams.
Yeah.
Like charts like these are their forte as far as I heard from other players. Imabuka as well going in for Russia, and I think the chord jack pick was a bit of a stumble here for Buka, but on a more straightforward chart like this chord scheme, they should be able to keep up.
Also, with Joel's appearance, that means all 8 players on both teams have made an appearance in this match. Which is actually a lot more rare than you think.
That's neat. Especially in 7K, where usually teams are set up to have like 2 main players and have the other 2 just sub in for more specialized picks. So a very, very good dynamic we're seeing here from both of these teams, showing enough depth to see all of them play. As we see Denmark barely in the advantage position here. Like we probably won't be seeing more swings until we see the density of this chart pick up. It's about to happen in a few.
Yeah, Joe definitely keeping Denmark alive in this map so far. Frit is matching X-Devil, and teammate Buka definitely has some ground to cover.
Joel, as I
Frit
to find. Oh,
it was slightly clean. There was an accuracy drop after the miss. It is not good, yeah, because the Russian Federation have the lead.
It's not. Yeah, but it's not too much of a drop. Like it's still recoverable, especially that there's still enough chart remaining. But you kind of have to start hoping for Russia to maybe find a meltdown somewhere. Joel, on the other hand, doing their job.
Yeah, Joel just has to keep doing what they're doing, and then just really hope for something to happen from the Russian Federation. But you also have to make sure that Frit is also still able to keep up. The ending can be pretty brutal, from what I've heard. Teammate Buka with the miss.
Buka, there you go.
That what Denmark needs? Is that what Denmark needs?
It might be.
X-Devil drops.
X-Devil as well, finding a drop, and I think Denmark will be able to defend this pick, I think.
Frit needs to hold.
Like the final few seconds of this start. The final few seconds of this start isn't exactly the easiest to act, but they should be able.
I think that should be it, even if Team Ibuka finishes.
That should be it.
I believe even if Team Ibuka finishes, that should still be a Denmark victory, because that Joel score, oh my gosh. 992k. And we are all square once again.
That is, again, I said, Joel is very, very good at chord streams. Oh man, that is beautiful. And Fritta as well, only one miss, same 200 count.
Yeah. For the seed difference, which is 11th to 22nd, not 21st on the stream, it's 22nd. Like that's an 11th seed gap. And we are 3-3. That is quite ridiculous.
And now we're in that part of the match where there are no more safe picks. Maybe Russia still has Hybrid 1 or Hybrid 3 open for them?
Yeah, 2 hybrids left, 1 Rice.
Yeah.
At least from the qualifiers, hybrids, Russian Federation are pretty good at it. 11th on it, as compared to 23rd from Denmark. Well, I guess they are going for it. Russian Federation going for Hybrid 1.
Russian Federation bidding for match point with Cosmoscape.
So this is apparently more reliant on Rice accuracy, according to your notes.
Yep, but it plays pretty much like LN2, LN3. Like there's only some very specific Rice sections here where you kind of have to actually play it like Rice. If you want to extract all of the accuracy as you can off this chart.
We will see 2 changes. Meiju and Melon come in. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that these 2 duos are practically the main players for this match, I think, for both of these teams. I am actually very nervous about this chart for both of these teams. Because
I think probably more nervous for Russian Federation.
Either way.
Yeah. This is their last pick.
Yeah. And this can go either way.
Well, so far so good for Denmark actually, accuracy-wise. Meiju actually having the lowest accuracy of the lobby at the moment.
That's actually very surprising there from Meiju. But I think, at least from what we saw with Raindrop, like, this is kind of expected in a way. Like the Rice heavy section is going to favor Denmark a bit more, but once these LNs start to come in, we can start to see Russia slowly claw themselves back into this chart. But as it stands, Denmark is actually slowing. Whoa, there we go.
Oh,
Russia is slowing it back.
Melon got a pretty bad accuracy drop on some of those LN releases, but they're actually getting back because Meiju is dropping as well. As is X-Devil. Frit is the highest accuracy in the lobby by some margin. And we're already halfway through,
this
no breaks
section. Yet. This break section is not a break section. This is actually a polyrhythm section. You kind of have to be careful here.
Yeah. I saw Frit dropping some accuracy as well as Melon. Denmark actually losing some points there. So back to Rice here. And then back to the LNs.
Here we go now. This is a pretty heavy LN section here, and we're seeing Russia slowly pull that advantage to their side. But if there are any airdrops as we're seeing right now, then
there was one from Frit. There's a miss from Melon.
Oh, Melon finally missed.
Could that be it for Russian Federation? They just need to hold.
Russia really needed that miss.
Right at a death. Oh my gosh. And despite Frit's efforts, it's match point Russian Federation.
Meiju with X-Double actually only finding LN drops. Oh my. Denmark has to pick the tech pick now, right? They have to pick Rice 4 now in this position, I would think.
I don't think they have a choice.
Yeah, and because Hybrid 3... Yeah. Hybrid 3 is straightforward in a way, the other way it's not. And I'd rather not take a risk on the LNs on Freshness Vacation as well, because there's staccato LNs. They're not easy to hack.
Mm-hmm.
And Russian Federation has shown LN hack in some form. But then the tech pick is so easy to choke on.
Yeah,
But
Vice 4.
But it's their best pick. And there you
They
go.
really got backed into a corner because of that. And I wouldn't blame them. I mean, the
Yeah.
Russian Federation really just went for the map that just benefited them the most. And if the Russian Federation
Yeah.
won that, there was nothing else Denmark could really do besides pick Vice 4.
Like, the only silver lining really is that for the past few charts, like, Denmark is so close to stealing a point off Russia. And
Yeah.
maybe they could be able to get that lead to their side and finish this bid for a tiebreaker. Would be fun to see 2 tiebreakers in a row on stream.
I mean, it is still possible. We've said so many things and we've been wrong in this match already. So who knows? What will Denmark do here?
And here we go. Just as a reminder, the winner of this match, if my notes are correct, will be facing Thailand in the round of 16. If Russia wins this chart, they will be getting that slot. If Denmark wins this chart, we'll be seeing the tiebreaker yet again for the second time in a row tonight.
We will see if this is the map that will punch Russian Federation through, or will we see a back-to-back tiebreaker?
Okay, Race actually have a pretty rough start accuracy-wise, but that is like super early into the chart. Like, there's still a minute and 30 seconds remaining, less than that. And basically the latter half is when the actual chart begins. Like, we have to pay attention once everything happens there. Meiju finding an early drop.
That is what Denmark really needs. Halfway through the map. I mean, so far so good. 2 FCs, Frit with the highest accuracy in the lobby again. 10,000 points of a lead. Nothing's over till it's over though.
Correa is actually recovering accuracy and has been gaining over the past few moments. Meiju should be able to recover, so Denmark cannot relax. They need to maintain these combos along with their accuracies. Like, this is the most tense final 20 seconds of chart that they're going to have this entire match, I think.
But the lead shrinking actually.
But Denmark is doing enough.
Okay, wait, no, the accuracy is actually going back to Denmark.
And I think Denmark has done just enough.
I think so too.
They have done enough. They have done enough to force a tiebreaker.
A back-to-back on stream.
Oh wow, these are good accuracies across the board. Unfortunate to see a miss on Meiju's side.
Would that have been enough?
What?
Ooh, I don't think wait, actually it might have been enough.
It might have been enough. Might have been enough even if Meiju FC'd. Yeah.
Oh boy. Well, we could say the ifs and the mights and the buts, but we do have one more map left to play regardless.
Majestic 12. 6 excruciating minutes. And honestly, I don't know who has the advantage here, because this chart has everything. Like, patterns that favor both Russian players, patterns that favor the Danish players, and a lot of room for jokes to happen. Like seeding wise, we would think Russia should have the advantage here, but as we've seen throughout this entire thing,
on
like
paper,
our notes have been yeah. Our notes have been pretty much useless this match. Like the only useful parts are like the player list and whoever
And the
they're
maps.
facing next weekend. Yeah. Like the rest of the data, the qualifiers, they don't matter here anymore. And honestly, I like that. I like being wrong, especially in matches like this.
Yeah, when you see like the underdog story of Denmark being 11 seats lower, possibly pulling off an upset on the very first match of the 7K World Cup. We'll have to see if that will come true here. We technically already saw a seed upset previously, with Team Taiwan taking it over Team Netherlands, but this one's of a much higher degree.
And that was number 16 against number 17. Like the match where on paper you would really expect it to go down the wire. Not something like this though. And look at that lead. That is barely a lead.
Yeah, Karace and Melon cancelling out each other, and Meiju having the accuracy advantage over Frit. That is the difference that we see on our screen. And Meiju's dropping accuracy. But Karace is building accuracy.
Meiju actually dropping to Frit's accuracy level with that staggered double stare.
Oh my gosh, this lead.
Everyone's evening out.
Oh, Frit!
Ooh, Frit!
Highest accuracy of the lobby drops.
But
that's
if
not
one
good.
drop has happened, I think there's more that's bound to come somewhere in
There
this
will.
chart.
I'll be very surprised if someone FCs. That would be incredible.
I mean, it could happen. Like the charts in this round are pretty much FC friendly, even for these teams.
The range drops.
But
is that lead gonna drop? Oh,
Race and Melon.
They
trade.
And Melon drops
also
twice.
No more full
And Meiju,
combo.
there's no FCs.
No more full combo.
Suddenly there's no FCs.
And like the drops coming off the Russian side have been a bit messier.
It's been worse
compared to the Danish side.
Fit's still holding on to
Yeah.
99.3. Oh, but Melon trades with
Melon
Karace.
race again.
Oh, that leads.
Oh man,
Shrinking.
this is extremely
Melon. Melon dropped a lot of accuracy compared to Karace.
Meiju is
And the
starting
Russian
to stabilize
Federation-
a bit of that. Meiju is starting to stabilize at mid 99.2 and actually gaining. Meiju is gaining accuracy. Oh man, 2-digit lead going to this coordination
Oh my
section.
god, 21.
This is not a break. This is not a break section, everyone. This is arguably one of the hardest sections in this entire chart.
Oh, Melon,
Melon
no,
fighting a
Melon. Fit, are you serious? Both them must play drop here.
Again, this is not a break section. This is arguably one of the hardest sections in this entire chart.
I mean,
Like,
the
what
Russian
we-
Federation, they're doing really well. Oh my god,
This
Denmark
is
are just losing
LN1
it.
Simulate.
Denmark are just losing it at this part. The Russian Federation turned a 2-digit lead into a 4-digit lead.
But like, there's still enough chart remaining. Like, there's still half of it. If we see some sort of a breakdown here from Russia, something might happen. Because like this section is a bit more race heavy. Oh, Danish players actually finding drops instead.
Yeah, and the Russian Federation players both hold.
Now here we go with the core jacks. Like everyone should be campaigning on gaining accuracy in this section no matter what.
I mean, so
Both
far so
Meiju and
good, right?
Karace
For the
are
Russian
doing
Federation. Yeah.
Yeah. Melon has stabilized to that 99.0 level.
And Melon drops again. That lead is just going to continue to grow to the Russian Federation side. They found their rhythm.
Yeah, like it was a pretty shaky start from them in this chart. But now they're starting to flex that higher seed muscle, like the reason why they got this up. I mean that up. Now a bit like some technical section here. Melon unfortunately finding 2 consecutive drops.
Oh boy. This could be the beginning of the end. If this continues. Oh, but major drops. And another major drop. Okay, maybe it's not the end yet. Maybe it's not the end. Hold on to hope. There has to be a miss from Karace though, I feel.
Drop. Yeah, a miss from Karace might make this a bit more closer. But Denmark is starting to run out of time.
Yeah, and Melon drops again.
Oh, Melon.
That's not gonna help.
Like these stair transitions have been giving Melon a bit of trouble throughout this entire chart.
Yeah, fair play to Frit though. Still holding basically the spine of Denmark's chances here. But Meiju currently holding the highest score of the lobby, I believe. Going to be the biggest reason why the Russian Federation, they have that 20,000 point lead.
Oh, and Karace's combo is just supporting Meiju very well in this tiebreaker, and we're starting. But the patterns are not yet winding down. Maybe a massive drop somewhere, but man, like
I think they're out of time.
Wishful thinking at this point.
This lead is way too big to catch up with the amount of time left in the tiebreaker, and that will be it. Russian Federation will take it 5-4 in this very entertaining round 24 clash. You have to really give props to Denmark for such an impressive performance, being 11 seeds down to go all the way. But it is the higher seed Russian Federation that will take this.
Denmark has definitely shown that they are a force to be reckoned with in this World Cup, keeping up with one of the higher seeded teams in the roster. Congratulations to Russian Federation for advancing further in the winners bracket, and will have the honor of facing Thailand next weekend.
Yeah, and Denmark will actually have to face the loser between South Korea and Taiwan.
Oh boy, I think that's going to be an interesting match either way.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, there's kind of like an expected matchup at some point, but I mean, like, if that matchup actually happens, I think that is going to be a very spicy one. Anyways, Russian Federation definitely looking forward to playing next weekend. Denmark will have the honor to rest up a bit and wait for the results of next weekend. But anyways, we have another match starting 5 minutes from now, and that will be Great Britain and United Kingdom and Germany. And I think we will be taking just a short break to rest our voices, like chill out a little bit, drink some water, and we'll be back soon.
Yeah, do not go anyway, because the next match is in 5 minutes. We'll see you.